guys. Welcome to Down to It with Down to Earth. My name is Davy Zars, and I got Brandon the Kid 39,
What's up, guys?
got E Factor,
Hear everybody.
and I got Key of the Moor.
What's going on?
If you don't know us already, we're just a couple of friends who play video games together and we talk a lot. So, we're going to have a lot to talk about. That's why we started this podcast. Anyways, let's just get down to it. So, I don't know if y'all are irritated by the news recently, but I've been irritated because you see what's going on at the Capitol with the Trump supporters and stuff, and then you also see the Black Lives Matter stuff, and it's just like, what side does the country really want to be on? What do y'all think?
Well, one of y'all can go, because
Okay,
unless
I'll go.
Alright.
Honestly, when it comes to the news and everything, I just want to know: is there people that supported those people that stormed the Capitol, like, or is it just the people that stormed the Capitol that are like, with that? Because I would like to believe that it's just that one group of silly people and not people like, oh yeah, that was a good idea. I wish I was there, kind of thing. That's all. Like,
I feel like there is people who support what they did. And don't get me wrong, I can understand why they wanted to do it, but when you think about how it is, you try to do a coup and try to keep Trump in office or stop the confirmation of the election results or whatever the fuck they were trying to do. Like, they're just trying to make it to where they felt like their rights wasn't being encroached on. But when we go in the street and say Black Lives Matter and trying to say we're tired of getting killed by cops for no reason, we get meet with guns, SWAT teams, and all this other shit, right? Like, they're literally at the Capitol where there's the president and vice president and all of these high up leaders, and the police let them in.
I also want to say,
I would say, go ahead.
like, I feel like with just colored people in general, when we protest, I feel like at this point, whenever um you know white people do some kind of protest or some kind of rebellion, I feel like as we should just do it like directly after them, or just do the same thing and just see how, like, and just try to prove our point that, like, hey, you see the difference on when we did it and when they did it, because
I see what you're saying,
to
but
make it ice
like,
cream and stuff.
Like, my thing is, I got two things. So, like, I do think that the country at large supported them because, like, okay, so as much as people don't like, especially with white people, they don't like to admit that Trump is a low key race is like a passive aggressive racist. So that
high
he's
key.
one of those he's one of those people who is a racist but will unabashedly use black people for his campaigns, for his leadership or whatever to save face. But he actually gave a voice. He actually gave a a platform for I guess passive aggressive racism, where it's not blatantly outspoken, but it's institutionalized to the point where they can say, oh, well, you're like, black people are just not trying, or they're not really disadvantaged, it's just your fault. And second, like, I'm just upset that our judiciary has not, or our legal system has not evolved to the point where it will be impartial. Like, we was talking about something like this earlier, where I advocate for the blindness and the indifference of the law. Who's right is right, and who's wrong is wrong. So, like, with Black Lives Matter, like, tying back into that, I would have been okay with their assessment if one they hadn't have came at the Black Lives Matter protests like they did and just treated them like at the Capitol, or if the police at the Capitol treated the protesters like they did protesters at Black Lives Matter. I don't advocate for the destruction of property either way, but it was extremely hypocritical, and it was entirely hypocritical that while Black Lives Matter did cause destruction and stuff, in the streets,
It
in
wasn't
state
them
capital,
though.
it wasn't necessarily them, but people actually ran up to the U.S. Capitol and was busting down windows while the legislature was in session, and that same energy was not kept. Like the level of accountability, the level of hostility to basically what were domestic terrors were not kept with the crowd, as it was with the crowds with Black Lives Matter.
Could I say something?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so to backtrack just a tad bit. Well, not really backtrack, but I kind of want to touch on like or piggyback off some things that you all said.
Mhm.
One, I do believe the country as a whole, majority of the people that lived in this country, because according to statistics and whatnot, or the minority. So I'm pretty sure majority of the country did agree, and they were all secretly on board with that. Want to be cool at the Capitol. Um, I believe just because it didn't look right in the eyes of the public, they were hushed about it. Like, think about it. You don't see anybody actually on. Well, I haven't seen anyone on social media like, oh, they were right, and you know, you all are doing them wrong, and uh, 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 they should be, they should not be treated this way, and they're human beings. You don't see that. That's because it doesn't look good in the eyes of the public. Remember, once upon a time before Trump was president, we didn't have certain crazy things like that, and if we did, the people who genuinely felt and they agreed with it, they were not on social media once again backing up who they believe in and what they believe. They were in hiding once again. Um and so I do believe majority of this country did agree and was low key rooting for them. Like, and you can't tell me they wasn't, because think about this. It's the capital. How do you not get shot down before you even when you hold on when you miss a checkpoint, when you go and you disrupt something of that tier, like that on that level, how are you not met with the U.S. Army within or reserve whoever within a matter of seconds?
And
I
my
bet
thing,
if me as a black person, a black man, were to one day get on a plane, go down there, and go walk, I bet I will never make it to the front door. I bet I won't. I'm gonna be arrested, shot down, something. Something is happening. Yet they came there protest. They didn't sit across the street talking how they talk. They was walking up there, and yet you had police officers letting them in. I've seen video evidence of police officers moving the fence, moving the barrier, and allowing them in, hugging and shaking these protesters' hands. And then, oh, stop, oh, stop, you can't get in. You can't get it. What? Where was where was anybody? Where? Yet we go downtown and protest. I did it myself. I'm not just talking from what I seen on the TV screen. I protest myself. I put my own life in danger because that's what I believed in. I believed my life is worth something. So I got my butt up and I went downtown to go protest. Granted, it wasn't any rioting where I was at. But the thing is, let's say it was a few hundred of us, right? We're peaceful protesting, nothing crazy, and there were cops everywhere. When I mean everywhere, everywhere. If they wanted to, they could have took us all out. I mean, there was cops and from different counties who's there. The military, the army, whoever you want to call them, they was there. They was on. They were their trucks. They were their trucks. They was in their armed uniform. just in case something popped off, they were already there. They was in SWAT gear or in their riot gear. They were there, posted. Yet you walk your tail, or y'all go up and y'all do all that stuff at the Capitol, and y'all are met. Oh, people died. What, two, three, four people died, I believe. That's sad to lose anybody. But let's be real.
You stormed the Capitol and you expected not to get shot.
I
I
mean,
was
come
about to
on.
say that woman.
Like,
'Cause
don't get me
from
wrong.
what?
I feel for her family, right?
Yeah,
Like, she shouldn't have died. But then again, you shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Thank
like,
you.
or you shouldn't have been trying to push through. Okay, so I actually heard the story. So apparently, on TikTok, there were people trying to defend her and basically say like, "Oh, you know, she was a patriot. She served this country."
There were people
But
who are on my Facebook who go to the same church as me that was trying to defend her. But let's be okay. But go ahead.
but my thing is like, dude,
Mm-mm.
there
No.
were police officers. There were police officers, and the officer was telling him, "Ma'am, if you keep stepping, I'm gonna shoot you." And she kept stepping, and he
He
was
was
like, and
doing his job.
he kept giving her warnings. He was like, "Ma'am, I do not want to shoot you, but I will bust a cap in you if you keep walking." And she kept walking and got shot. And I'm sorry if that's insensitive to if that's insensitive to say, but that's what's real. She overstepped the boundary that she shouldn't have overstepped, and I think I think that's what a lot of Trump supporters are not, or people who supported whatever went down there. I don't think that's what they get. It's like you overstepped the boundary, and that
You're
overstepped the boundary,
literally committing federal crimes
crime, right? And you're
and you
mad because you
expected
got
no
repercussions.
repercussions.
Right, you're mad because you suffered the consequences. That's not unreasonable. Nigga, you stepped into a government building while Congress is doing their job. Like, I'm surprised the Secret Services didn't come out and get on y'all because Pence was in the building.
Yeah,
Like,
okay, like
I'm so surprised that his Secret Service people did not come out. Because I swear, if y'all would have got close to him, it would have been a hell of a lot of
But
a lot more of y'all would have died.
could I say
there's
this?
one thing I want to say. Well, go ahead, Eric.
What?
Really quick. Let's talk about the videos that were actually surfacing of the people that were in the Congress, right? Who were in the building.
Uh-huh.
They were on the ground. One lady, listen, I ain't gotta know her, but I love her already. Praying, and
Oh, I saw that. She was
yeah,
going.
and she praying, and you got everybody down, and then you literally see them breaking into the building, literally like a ways away from the camera. You can see them breaking through the glass and all of that, and they're trying to barricade the door. Are you kidding me? You y'all literally put these people's lives in danger. Like, where was the army? Skip the fact that they got to break into the building. What about the life of those people that were in there?
They didn't
You,
care.
you know how traumatized they would have been? No, skip not would have. You know how traumatized they are? You know how I would feel? A mob of people breaking down my door
And these
because
are
they
people
don't
that
like the fact.
supposedly elected me. By the
Yeah.
way, these are people who elected me. By the way,
So like,
The-
I don't. Are you kidding me? Like, listen, these people are in here scared. I mean, scared for their lives. Because think about it. What if the police decided to let their hands? What do you think would have happened to them? Who knows? Them fools are they literally created a noose outside? Are you kidding me? Really? A noose? A noose? And these are upstanding citizens. A noose? My dude, really? I want to call you something else, but are you kidding me?
it's the reason that they can't necessarily arrest them for that is because that's falls under the freedom of speech thing. So like with Black Lives Matter, if we made gestures like that, or or okay, so like our symbol, like the raised fist, they can't necessarily say anything about that or anything violent of that matter. Anything that Black Lives Matter did that might have seemed provocative, they answer that or they couldn't say anything about that because that technically falls under their freedom of speech, and they
But
didn't threaten anybody.
the noose, the nah, no, the noose
The
is
news
the
it's still
noose
touchy,
doesn't even.
but
But no, the noose does represent them. I mean, when does the noose ever represent anything else? It doesn't.
it does. But then then the problem becomes, well, it wasn't necessarily directed towards anybody. I didn't directly could walk into a congressman and say and point to the news and say you're next. I'm just saying that was
But if somebody takes a noose and put it on my door, what am I gonna think? You don't have
yes,
to directly come and tell me.
yes. That's
Just
because
like,
it was
for
put on your
instance,
property.
I mean, okay, my property, my car, what outside my tree? Oh, that's letting they need on my property. What? It don't matter. Put a noose in the air. What? First of all, come on, like be real. That's not that. That's hate. That how does that not fall under hate? I mean, like, what hate speech? How does that not fall under that? Because
they
that's
would
crazy.
they would argue it in court that because nobody's body was not because
Yo, but I don't have to.
bodily is not bodily threatened or imminently endangered, that was technically freedom of speech, which is why like
Okay,
that's
but
just
wait a
like with the
minute. But
KKK.
then how does?
Listen, listen, that's just like with KKK groups and the groups that are like that, neo-Nazi groups, all stuff like that. They might say stuff provocatively like that, and they're because they're under the Constitution, they are entitled to freedom of
Then
speech.
where
They're
does hate
entitled
speech
to
come into? Where does hate speech come into play? Where's the line drawn?
the line is drawn when you actually start. So the line is drawn when you actually start threatening people or when
They
people's
do.
lives are imminently in danger.
So wait,
But
They
I'm
what you
do.
saying
trying to tell me is that they can say whatever the fuck they want until they actually threaten somebody. That's when you
I've
can take
heard,
legal
so like
action.
exactly
but no,
for
hold on, hold
example
on, no, 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 because I've
for
heard.
like black Hebrew
I've,
Israelites, a lot of them say they hate white people. They say the racist stuff to white towards white people, and police walk by them. They can't arrest them because it's their freedom of speech, unless they threatened somebody and told them, you know, okay, I'm about to kill you because you're white, or you're a cracker. You going, you know, we gonna physically harm you. They can say whatever they want.
uh, uh, I hate black.
Thing that I
Hey,
did
I'm a
want
shit.
to that
Straight up.
this can go into the
No,
privilege
I
thing
know. Go
too.
ahead.
So the people who taking pictures inside of the inside where I don't know where they were, the Capitol building, whatever the fuck. Like they were taking pictures, like they had like uh
They
House
should have went to
Speaker
jail,
Pelosi's
like all
name
of them.
and the podium and shit. They went no,
Actually, no.
look. They caught them, right? They got
The
them.
Liberty for Day. Well, you remember that one TikToker that I sent you the other day, right? Eric, the
Yeah.
Nanny Ma. He put a video up and said that the guy that was one of the guys that was there was from Arkansas, and they were
Yeah,
looking
that's
for
the
him.
dude that
And
took
this
the
was still
mail.
several days. Yeah, this was still several days after. I'm like,
And
nigga,
you know they
he
caught
should have
him
been
now, and
arrested.
he's
Like,
in jail
no,
now. But it's like,
no,
why do
he
they
should have been
have
arrested
bail for
before he
him?
walked out the building.
That
He
is a
should have been
federal
arrested.
crime. Like,
He should have been arrested before he walked out the building. It should have been a wrap. He stole mail from the Speaker of the House.
I told y'all it's the privilege. That's what it boils down to. It's privilege. It has nothing to do with what's right, and it's privileged. I mean, it's privileged because at the same time, why does the FBI need all this information now? Whatever you seek. Wait a minute. Wait a
y'all
second.
had cameras in that building. I know y'all have. Y'all
Y'all
should
got
be
the
able to
best
find
camera.
them.
The best
Everybody was
camera.
posting about it after. They posted pictures.
No, but I'm saying like during like y'all brung up during the protest, they were snatching black people away, arresting them, beating them, dogging. I've seen them knock a 75-year-old man down, and this man hit his head on concrete. An older white dude, because he was associated with Black Lives Matter. That man was bleeding from his nose and his ear. I was never that sick before. I'm like, my God, what really? Yet they butt up to the Capitol. What it should be one of the most highly secured places in this country. One of them, at least what the top three, and
No, it should be
the top
like
three.
top two For
Yeah, I
I
was
real.
about
mean,
to say
like,
it's
Other
top
than the
two.
yeah, it should
no,
be top three because the
that's why I
No,
Pentagon,
said
it's
Pentagon
the White
top
House
three.
is the most secure place in the
Yeah,
country.
the
I
White
mean,
House, Pentagon, and then the Capitol building. That's how
yeah,
it should be.
that's why I said top three.
No, yeah, yeah. You can put the pen. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it
No,
has
because
to
the
be
Pentagon
Pentagon
Pentagon.
has a lot of stuff there that needs to be secured.
For
Oh
reference,
yeah, oh yeah.
top
I
three
get
for
that.
reference.
For reference, it should be top three.
Yeah,
So whatever I was saying, so I kind of lost my thought. But like that being one of okay, I got it. But that being one of the top three most heavily guarded buildings, like I said, they should have never, ever gotten
I
nowhere
don't
near
understand how
close.
the mayonnaise monkeys can make their way into there. That's all I'm saying.
wow. He said
Not the
mayonnaise.
mayonnaise monkey.
Wow.
Look. I'm just being honest, right? If I can't go on like if I can't go to Woodward, right? I live in Detroit. If I can't go to Woodward and march with people who look like me and say that my life matters because I don't want to get shot by a cop when I got pulled over. Me and Brandon literally got pulled over on our way back from Kentucky,
Ooh,
and I was
bro,
visibly shaking. And
I
he
was
asked
so
me, "Is
glad.
there anything that you have in the car?" I'm like, "No. The reason why I'm shaking is because I'm black. Like I don't want to die here." Okay.
Bro, when I tell you, I was so happy he was cool about it because me and David was sitting in that car like nigga,
Bro, anxiety through the roof, bro. Like
like
I
and
was
he
just
looked at
like, if this
he
is
asked
it,
us
God, like please.
he asked us like, "Are y'all nervous?" I was like, "Yes, I'm nervous." Like he was like, "Why?" This is like because like the way black people have been treated by police and stuff, all that kind of stuff. I get that he was trying to diffuse the situation, but I'm like, you can't take away from the fact that it like that has been happening to black people. That's nothing that's something that you just can't take away.
But
Now,
y'all,
I appreciate you for being cordial about it. You wasn't like a dick, and you actually let us go. And props to him because we really wasn't even doing nothing. We didn't have nothing in the car. We was just trying to get home. So he let
Literally
us go.
just driving back home, but like
Yeah. So he just let
but,
us go.
but like you talking about that, y'all listen. Try waking up to a call where the only thing you hear is you have anything in the car, and looking up and I see blue and red lights, and I see Brandon's face, and I'm like,
yeah, we called Eric, bro. Like
Yeah.
we needed somebody else on the phone just in case something happened. And look, Brandon doesn't drive, so I was the one that's driving, and I'm just like, okay, well, the thing that was funny is that I seen the cop before he was coming to pull us over, and I was like, okay, so if he pulls out, I know he's gonna come and get us specifically.
And he got
And
behind us too, and I was like, David,
he got behind us on the freeway, and it was two lanes, and I was in the left lane because I was passing somebody, and I was just like, all right. I literally told Brandon, I was like, yeah, the cops behind us, so I'm about to get over after I pass his car. Pass the car, get over.
woo,
He
like
get right over, hit the sirens. I'm just like,
like no sooner than
oh.
David got over, them lights came on. I was like, you on
But it was funny because I predicted it. I was just like, this is. I already knew this was about to happen. Like, and I'm not saying that they profiled us because he said that I was going 65 and a 55. When we got on the freeway, there's no indication of what the speed limit was, and I was passing somebody. So
that is
obviously,
true.
I'm gonna go a little bit faster so I could pass the person. But you know,
yeah,
There really was no speed indicator.
no, there was no speed. Like you remember, because remember we had to get off the freeway and get back on. And when we got back
Yeah,
on, it didn't say, "Oh, speed limit is 55 here." It didn't. It didn't have that getting onto the freeway. So when I was passing him, the cop was at the next exit. The next exit is literally like half a mile up, and there was no speed indicator between then. So when I passed the other car, I was going 65, and he clocked us at 65. That's why he pulled us over. And like I get it, yeah, I was going over the speed limit, but like the whole point of me bringing up the story is just how anxiety and inducing and how scared I was in that situation, even though nothing happened. I shouldn't feel that fear if you're supposed to be a protector.
yeah, and
yeah,
which
it's like a public servant.
bringing me to my next, which is I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say that. Bringing me to my next point. When I talked about I kind of wanted to bring up privilege, which is this ties right into it.
Well,
We have. I'm gonna bring up two cases. One that March in Charleston, what South Carolina? I don't want to mess it up. It's one of
Isn't Charleston in North Carolina?
North
North
Carolina, South Carolina. What you said? The Charleston
Charleston.
one?
Yes.
Charleston should be in North Carolina.
Okay. Well, one of the Carolinas. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
people.
Charleston is in North Carolina.
Okay. Well,
Wait, no,
Charleston,
it's in
North
South. It's in South. Wait, what? I just looked it up. Wait, there's a what? Huh? There's a Charleston, South Carolina, and Charleston, North Carolina. Okay, any Carolina.
one of the Carolinas at this point, wherever that march was with the neo Nazis and just the white supremacy groups, and they having them a good old time, marching, setting stuff on fire, all of this unprovoked. They have no reason to march. It's not like they're being targeted.
They're
They're
not
going
being
to jail.
oppressed.
Nothing is happening to them. They just decided we're gonna get up, we're gonna march because we feel like we can do this. And also, let's even go here. When I believe it was the University of Kentucky. I believe they lost I believe it was a football game a couple of years ago. I don't want to be 100% wrong with this, but there was a riot in downtown Lexington, if I'm not mistaken. They tore that place up. Cars
Because
on
nigga, your
fire.
team lost because y'all niggas is trash.
Listen, exactly. But the thing is, I'm getting at there was no one arrested from either one.
No,
Now,
that's the other thing about privilege. It's when they riot, it's they're rowdy fans. When we're protesting, we're rioters who don't
Dissidents.
like we're just bringing I can't find the word.
Inciting violence.
Yeah, inciting violence. Like we're literally saying my life matters, putting a fist in the air and just marching down the street. We're not actually trying to riot. The people who actually started the riots during the Black Lives Matter stuff literally started riots just so it can put a bad image onto us.
exactly. And then like even with this, like I love how other than like the I'll go back to privilege. They're like we all know during one of the protests last year in 2020, there was a cop car who was, I believe he was trying to block or stop the protesters, stop the protesters, and I think they surrounded him and he
He
pulled
drove
off.
through them. Yeah.
Literally drove through a crowd of people.
I saw that.
It's been a
Yeah.
couple of instances of that though, not just cops, but like just people in general
Yeah,
who don't agree with
No,
the
no, no,
Black
no.
Lives Matter.
Let's not talk about the dude who I think he had. What did he have? He had
Yeah, like a
arrows.
crossbow
I
or
think he had
something.
arrows. Yes. Like he was about to be taking these people. I mean, he's old fashioned taking them out. What? Target practice?
This nigga literally came out and was like, "I'm about to go hunting."
No, he's on.
That was
I'm a my.
crazy.
He's on my.
No, but that's how it was though.
Yes, he's on that. He's on that. I'm a my Assassin's Creed type stuff. I'm coming to. Where my hunter bow at? Where
My
my
man
predator
said
bow?
this is
What?
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I'm about to be hunting for some steak. Like,
What? Like, wait a minute. Wait one little bitty minute. Yet when you protest, you're not met with any of that. Any of that.
you have the cops walking alongside you.
Yes, protecting you. Not the citizens, but you. Yet you want to be oppressed so bad. You want our struggles so bad. You got it made. Privilege is are you kidding me?
You've had a 400-year head start, and you really want to be back with us so you can say the word nigga.
Hey, look,
I've
let's be
never
honest.
understood that. I've never
Like that's
understood,
that's
like,
literally how it
what-
is.
But
Hold
I've
on, wait,
never
Kevin, you were about
understood
to say something?
the appeal with saying the word nigga. Like I just never understood it. Like, is it just to be cool, or do y'all actually just want to be racist? Do y'all want an excuse to be racist? Because it's like
no, think about
that's the only thing. Is like, do y'all just want to be cool? Because like you can be cool without saying the N word. Like you do know that, right?
There's
but no,
other slang.
but-
Okay.
hold on. Quick question. Well, not quick question. I kind of want to get everybody's opinion because we ain't really heard Kevin's voice in a minute, and I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't want to cut off anybody, so I just.
Oh no.
No, you could have been like, let me say something real
I was
quick.
trying to, but then like as soon as I was about to, so I was already started talking.
No, that's
Oh,
why.
sorry. No. Go ahead. Say,
Yeah.
Speak your piece, brother. Speak
Yeah.
your piece.
No, y'all cool, Earthlings. Y'all cool. No, look. I was trying. I was saying. Y'all remember those posts we were saying? When they started getting treated like an outsider or like unwanted after all of that, and
Yes.
treated like a terrorist,
Yes.
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, oh, like now that y'all feeling oppressed, now this and the third. Like, people want a struggle so bad, and like,
Boy.
and
Tell
now
me
now
about it.
now they're crying, saying they're trying to shut us up, or I'm not a terrorist. Like, I was just
You
it,
are a terrorist. You're a domestic terrorist. There's no
Yes.
reason why you should
and
incite
it was.
violence
I,
onto the Capitol building.
I find that like completely hilarious that once you know they got filed as something other than
Oh, on the no-fly zone,
yeah,
no-fly
like
list,
once
hilarious.
like just filed as like or like looked at differently. Period. Now all of a sudden now I'm oppressed.
No, no, no. Can we please talk about that one video? That one white dude. They were handcuffing him. It was two cops on him, and he screamed out, "Y'all are treating me like a black man." And I was like,
Yep.
"It's not the fact that y'all are ignorant of it.
It's the fact
Y'all
that
are,
you know it and you don't
you
care.
know, you know."
And I
Yeah.
just don't. This country it has so much hate. Y'all remember? Well,
What I do
if
to you?
yeah, y'all did this to us. It's
Yeah,
just
thank you.
it's crazy. Like if people watching this, if you guys don't know, me, Eric, and David, we've traveled across seas, touring, playing music and everything. And
Classical and jazz music.
yeah, I have, there's different kinds of like look, like this is like the most racist country ever. Like it makes no sense.
Man,
How
I went to
hate it.
Germany, France, and the Netherlands, and they did not care what you look like. Like I know I'm not gonna say that it ain't racist people out there, but the people that I met, they were really nice. And if they are racist, they hit it really well compared to how our country is.
Can we talk about the fact that you got? Can we talk about the fact that the Americans want to be Nazis so bad? That is so hilarious to me. Even Germany don't mess with that. I think it's 88-8. That's something you cannot say over there. I don't want to be wrong, but I know it's some 80. I believe 88. I'm gonna look it up. I really don't want to be wrong, but it's some type of slang you cannot say that references Hitler. They do not play over there. You
Like
will be
Heil Hitler or
questioned,
something.
jailed very fast. They teach in their history classes how this is what we did in the 1940s. This is how we jacked up. This is what we did, and we will not repeat this again. America does. Okay, yeah, this is a little sprinkle of slavery and all of that. Okay, here's Harriet
Ooh, you
Tubman.
just gave
Here's
me
a
a
little.
point.
Okay,
Like
I'll go ahead. It makes you hold that. But
they like to.
here, hold on, Brandon. Here's a little bit of Harriet Tubman. Here's a Martin Luther King. We're not gonna show you Malcolm X because we don't want you to. We don't want you to get that enemies necessary type of situation going on in your mind. We don't want you to feel like you can actually stand up and slap a roach because that's what I'm gonna do. And this is what we're gonna show you, and we're not gonna honor even the 28 stinking days you give us for Black History Month in the first place. But we're gonna go ahead and give you a little that. We're gonna show you a little African TV show, or whatever, on the TV, and go about your business. Other than that, it's about us and what we did for the world.
Oh,
You
don't
go ahead,
forget that they like just skim over the fact that they stole this country.
boy.
Bruh.
How you
I
gonna
be
have
I
like,
pride
told
for a
they
y'all.
be
country that
like,
isn't really yours?
I
they be
told y'all. I
like, go
wrote a
home, go back to
paper.
your countries. I was
I,
like, okay, so get these people back to their
So you
country.
going to? I mean, because we both ain't from here. I mean, you going back to England, and I'm going back wherever you stole me from. But
If I can even figure that out.
thank you, because let's be real. Let's be real. I told y'all I wrote an essay in class. One of the essay questions was in America, in that particular time period in the 1700s. No, 1700s. Uh, basically, was life great back then? And I asked a question to that particular statement that my teacher made. I said, "Well, life for who?" I said, "Life for a woman. She was a piece of. She was an object. She didn't She wasn't worth anything. I
It was
mean,
like you wanted the question to be more specific, not just be
Yeah.
a broad
Was
question.
it
yeah.
was
So
it was it good for the colonists? Is what you're saying?
no.
Was
I
it
didn't.
good
No.
for the
That's not.
mayonnaise monkeys?
No. Let me tell you.
Okay,
Let me tell you.
now.
Let me tell you.
David. Okay, we got to.
Let me say this. That was my essay. My essay was questioning him, and then I answered his question. What I said was, I said, for who? I said for the women. I said for the woman. I said she was a piece of property. She was this. She was that. Her job was to bear children, make sure his food was there, take his crap, and that. She wouldn't work nothing. She couldn't own no land. She couldn't vote. She couldn't do this, that, and third. I said, are we talking about the Native American who landed we stole? Hold on, not we. Let's get that straight. Who landed you stole? Who landed your forefathers stole? How they got pushed out, pushed in, pushed more back in front of the country. Y'all killed these people. You committed genocide after genocide. I went in with facts, and I went and I had it was an open book essay, so I was pulling all types of information. And then I said, well, also, for who else are you talking about? The slave that you stole from Africa? And then I went on about that, and then I finally got to the man, the white man. I said, for him,
His life was low key still trash.
but not compared to everybody else. This
I
was
compared to
great.
everybody else's.
You
No,
were
I'm
living
just
a life.
no, I'm just saying they were struggling because they didn't know the land. Like my thing is like if white colonizers at least would have agreed to live harmoniously with the natives, they might have done better. But they made their lives harder
Oh,
with
I don't even
reversing the
care.
land.
But no. But it's not even that. It's not even that. They know. They learned the land. That's the thing. They know they weren't stupid. They learned the
They
land
learned
first
it,
before
but they put
but what
themselves
I'm
through
getting
more
at
hardship than
overall,
they had to.
I mean, overall, that's a piece of crap. That's nothing in the bucket. That's not even a drop compared to how everybody else was. At the end of the day, you wasn't a piece of property. At the end of the day, you could get up and do whatever you wanted to do. You could do whatever you wanted to do. If you seen a native, you like, I want your land. Well, it's my land. It's this is sacred. I don't care about your sacred whatever. I don't care about you and your false gods. It's mine now, and I'm going to kill you and get it. And who was going to stop me? Not nobody on this planet, nobody in this country, because I was a patriot. I was living before America was America. I was living the American dream, even though I was struggling, even though we barely had a pot to piss in and no ice boxes. But regardless of that, I had a great life. So then that's why and A plus on that paper is the way I worded it. And he was like, actually, I really like the way you did that. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not a white male, I'm gonna have struggles regardless. And it's irritating. I hate that. And the thing is, it's like you always say, "Well, go back to Africa." I didn't bring myself here. You need to go there and find my folks. Pay for me a good plane ticket.
If I knew where I could go back to Africa, where my family is from, then I'd probably go back. But I can't do that because
I don't know where I'm from.
I don't know
I
where
have
I'm
no
from.
cultural identity.
Thank you.
But I want to
Like,
ask y'all a question though. Well, actually, Eric, finish your point.
okay. No, I just wanted to I wanted y'all to go on privilege just a little bit. I kind of did talk a lot.
No, my point is about privilege. So,
Oh, well, go ahead.
well, it's kind of about privilege, and it's about like how history is written. So, y'all know history isn't really written for
It's written
us.
for the victors.
Is written for the victors. So, um, we're living through history right now. So, how do y'all feel like they're gonna write this chapter?
Boy, I was
How do you feel like they're gonna write the Black Lives Matter movement into
Oh, they're
history?
gonna
How
dismiss
do
it
you
out
feel like
as
they're
a
gonna
terrorist organization.
write Trump's presidency into history?
Well,
Because
okay, so I will say this.
Well, hold
So,
on, Brandon, let him finish.
oh my bad.
the reason why I'm asking that question is because like when we went through like middle school and high school, we learned things about history, but we didn't really learn stuff about us. And we should have. We should learn history from all different viewpoints. We shouldn't just learn it from the victor's viewpoint. We need to learn it from the loser's viewpoint too, and we need to learn it from a neutral standpoint, right? Because you can't get the full story with just one side. So what I want to know is, how do y'all think they're gonna write this chapter into the history books for future generations? Because if it was up to me and I was writing it, I would try to be as truthful as I could be. I would try to be as non-biased as I could be. I would get the stories from my people. I would get the stories from every race of people during this time to see how they felt about it. I would even talk to, you know, the people who are in MAGA. I'm not saying that me personally would do it because I'd probably get shot, but I would I would like literally like have like a story from each like race of person or from each viewpoint to see how they perceive it, and then let the future generations perceive it how they want to. Because I would rather have a full circle story instead of it having to be a crescent,
Okay,
you
so
know?
like, okay, so like, I, okay, so with Donald Trump, I feel like, so if we were to assess it from the standpoint of, so multiple views, from the standpoint of the American population, from America as a whole, it would be mixed because you do have a sizable amount of people who still do, for whatever reason, like Donald Trump. Even although a lot of politicians don't, the population at large, he does have a large following. While you do have also a large following of his dissenters, people who don't like him, people who vociferously and consistently dog everything that he's done. From a historian standpoint, I would put him below average. And that's what a lot of historians are, even people who are Republicans, people who, are trying to write the history books from an impartial, from an abstract standpoint. He is probably going to rank as one of the most subpar presidents. And he's probably going to rank toward the bottom of the list because my thing is, like, impeachments don't go well for presidents, and the only person to recover his reputation from an impeachment is Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton, for majority of his presidency, was actually a good president. But the other ones who were impeached, Andrew Johnson, Richard Nixon, both ended up with bad reputations because of what led up to their impeachments. Nixon because of the Watergate scandal, Johnson for, I think, for whatever reason, but he was one who, somebody who opposed Reconstruction basically. But he's probably gonna rank like below average, like subpar, because of his actions, his flagrant, mannerisms, his it's not even unorthodox anymore. It's just flagrant disregard for the political machine. And then you have the incitement of nearly what was a coup. I think he all around the board he'd go down as a bad president. But with the Black Lives Matter and the what happened at the Capitol, I think Black Lives Matter is going to get a bad rep. Um, and I think that's only from the white perspective. I think that Black Lives Matter should get an
Just
impartial.
like the Black Panther Party.
Yeah, like the Black Panther Party, like and the Black Panther Party has in recent years undergone some rehabilitation by historians, because the Black Panther Party was never intended to be like a militant, we up in arms type of group. It was literally a community group aimed at helping Black people who couldn't help themselves.
The thing
And
that's
that's what
crazy is that I don't even know a lot about the Black Panther Party, and I kind of hate that I don't. It's not even just because I didn't do research myself, but I feel like I should have learned that in school.
Yeah, like, because the Black Panther, because they only showed the bad part with Huey Newton, and how supposedly militant he was. But the intent of the Black Panther Party, like, and that's a lot of things, like even with the Crips and the Bloods, these groups were not founded for Black people to have a platform in which they can incite violence, gangbang, and do all the stuff that they are associated with. They were made so that Black people in their communities can get the help that they needed that they couldn't get from white people. And Black Lives Matter should be put in the same light, but there were factors, and there are factors which could give them the devil's advocate for why Black Lives Matter was a bad group. Like for example, like I said, so with Black Lives Matter, you had the root, the rioting, the looting, and stuff, and that wasn't necessarily attached to the group itself, but that's what was in its
They
wake.
will
Why?
though. They
That's what I'm
will.
saying.
They're gonna attach that to them.
For
That's what I'm
example,
saying. They
for
were
example,
happening. They were
for
occurring
example, did y'all see that
simultaneously.
video?
So, oh, go ahead. What he was saying?
I'm sorry. I just want to point out something like super quick. For example, you
Uh-huh.
seen that video that white lady? I don't know where she was. I'm pretty sure it was at the Capitol. And she tried to take that black woman's phone, and that black woman blew her junk out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Later in the video, she said the man asked her. He was like, "Who hit you?" He was like, "Was it Black Lives Matter?" She was like, "Yes, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter hit me." You
What?
blamed their whole. Yes, that's exactly what she said. You blamed their whole entire group of
Organization.
people based on one woman hitting you, and she was right. Don't
I was
touch
about
my
to say for
property.
something that you did.
Exactly. She blew you back. She took that nose clean out the game, my dog. Like, chill out.
But like back to the
But
question though, like I just want to know like how do y'all feel like they're gonna, write this? Not necessarily saying like how we would want it written, but how do you think
Eric,
they're
you
gonna
want
do
to
it?
go or you?
You can go. I'm gonna go last.
Okay. So I feel like nothing in actual history book really says a standpoint because it's more statistical, meaning like they say, okay, these are the events that happen, and you go on from there. Like they say the Trail of Tears, they're black people put in slavery for this amount of years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's never really put into viewpoints unless you're looking at either movies like Roots or if you're actually reading someone an actual biography or autobiography or biographies on like different people's books or sometimes movies on certain historical
Figures.
so what I mean is is most likely going to be self-taught on like later on down the road, like when people look back at all this craziness. So hopefully we have um today well, not today authors, that's weird. How do I say current authors that are gonna document this and write it in their books and how they feel about it, or document our black leaders that are
I really
holding.
hope in the future it'd be documentaries about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be different documentaries because most historical things you really won't get in school, and it's gonna be the is we're gonna have the same educational system until really later on down the road, and it's just gonna get updated. And when it gets updated, it's not gonna dawn too much into all of this. It's going to quote of different events, different points, and move on because our our educational system it doesn't have that much of a value when it comes. So it's going to be more self-taught. So people are going to have to go to libraries. People are going to have to watch the movies about events during this time. That's what
So
I
you
feel.
think you think it's gonna be more like, okay, you're gonna have to go out, you're gonna have to figure out what actually
Yeah,
happened.
find the truth for yourself, kind of thing.
Unless you get a teacher like Mr. Gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
miss Mr. Gore.
same. Kevin, are you done?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It really wouldn't be the educational system; it'd be more self-taught.
I feel like
Okay.
it should be though.
I agree. I do think it would be self-taught unless you have that particular teacher. I didn't know about D-Day, and I'm saying D-Day, and I'm gonna call it D-Day because most people, if you look up D-Day, you're not gonna get the D-Day I'm talking about. But I'll explain later. Um, I didn't know anything about D-Day until sophomore year in high school You know what's so funny? I didn't even know about the Trail of Tears until high school. Y'all, I'm serious. I genuinely didn't learn that in school. Um, I did not know anything about Moors until high school. Mr. Gore taught me. I didn't know anything about me or anyone else. I didn't even know about Japanese concentration camps during World War II
Bro,
until recently.
oh my God. When I learned about that, I was like,
We
wait,
are,
so you mean to tell me we were basically like the Nazis, but with Japanese people?
Oh
yep,
yeah, FDR. Yeah, FDR was like for all the like the social stuff that he did. Yeah, he like the Japanese was not. He even like even the Chinese. He was like, yeah, y'all good, but Japanese people, yeah, it was a wrap.
and like these are things that I did not learn about. They're in books, but the thing is, it's not going to change unless it's taught in our education systems. Which that's why I said I agree with Kevin. And my thing is this: I believe that um, the way history is going to write this, they are going to paint Black Lives Matter in a okay. Well, let me say this first. If we had the people we have in power now, it is not going to change. I'm optimistic. I hope and I pray that we get some people in power who got some sense and who genuinely care.
Mm.
Now, and that solely depends. We don't have, and I genuinely, I feel like history is always written with a bias. That's a lie and a half. People saying it ain't. It is. It's most definitely is. And our education system is very biased, because we learn about his story all the time. We don't get to learn about our story and everybody else's story and their story over there. We learn about his story. We learn of that. We learn about the white man's story. Listen, I'm over it, Snow Roach. I'm over it. I don't know about me. I don't know nothing about Japanese culture, Chinese culture. Yet we got a world history class that I literally learned about Europeans all day. Like what? Huh? Where we do that at? So I'm sorry, I kind of got off topic, but I kind of went on the tangent. But like, um, I feel like they're gonna paint the Black Lives Matter in a negative connotation, like everyone else was really saying. Um, the reason I feel like they will is because they're going to not talk about the rioting. I mean, no. They're not going to talk about the protests, the peaceful protests, the crying out in the streets. They're going to talk about the fact they're going to talk about the looting. They're going to talk about Polo, Target. They're going to talk about
That Wendy's that got caught on fire.
listen, the police station that got caught on fire. They're going to talk about that. They're going to talk about the fact that there was fires happening. Stuff burning, cars being busted out windows. They're gonna talk about all of that. They're gonna talk about how the police had to save the city and they had to come in and come with their rubber bullets. They're not gonna talk about the fact that they maced a father and his young daughter that had to been what 6, 7 years old. He wanted his daughter to see, and that little girl got maced. What in God's name can she do to you? You maced her, you coward. You maced her, maced the child. You maced that little girl's father. Y'all beat up on old. You literally harassed these people, snatched them up, hurt them, threw them on the ground. They're not gonna talk about the police brutality even in that. I don't even think they're gonna even bring up police brutality. Let's be real. That's gonna be like a smidgen of a subject in somebody's history book. I don't even. I genuinely think that is something that's gonna be something that's gonna be vaguely taught. Think about it. Think about slavery. Slavery is not in depth. It's not. It's the
It's
same
literally
thing.
just they were slaves. That's it.
It,
We whipped them. We did this, but it's fine now. You're free. You can do whatever you want.
they genuinely don't go into detail. I kid you not, y'all. I did not know how bad slavery was until I read the narrative life of Frederick Douglass. I did not know slavery was that gruesome.
It's like we had
What?
glimpses of it, and we kind of knew, but it wasn't like,
We
oh,
didn't know it was like that. I'm
we
like,
didn't know it was into that detail, that deep. These are the
yes,
things that they literally made you do. Like, and that
cow
like
skin. You beat somebody with cow skin? How do you beat somebody to death with a hairbrush? How do you do that?
How? You
And then
gotta have
you rape and kill our women and men and
so
children
much
and don't
hate.
care.
So much
Like,
hate. So I mean, look at the way they teach slavery. I feel like they're gonna do the same thing with the police brutality. People like Trayvon Martin. I feel like they're gonna do that. When it comes to this Capitol, oh my goodness, I feel like this is gonna be swept under the rug. I genuinely, this might not even be talked about at all. Let's be real, unless
if it's
people like
talked
us
about, they're gonna make it seem like it's something completely different than what it actually is.
or it was something
Yeah.
so small. It was something so small. It was like 5 people that tried to walk in there and they got in trouble. They're not gonna. I genuinely feel like it's gonna be so small, like very small, the way they paint this bad boy. And I literally thought about this like a couple of weeks ago. Like I literally like started daydreaming to where it was like I'm an older man. I'm sitting here and I got grandchildren, and I'm trying to tell them about what was happening when I was younger because they're not being taught it in school. They're not.
Pop,
And
pop, tell
by the
me
way,
about the days when you were younger. What happened? Well,
in 2020, bam, this is what happened. Skip
That's
coronavirus. Let me tell you about this racial injustice.
talking about
Um,
2020 was a hell of a year.
just listen. And like my thing is this, I also was thinking like it's crazy because we barely get taught anything for real. I mean, stuff is hidden. It's hidden. Like, do y'all know anything about the Devil's Punch Bowl?
What's
What is
that?
that?
Oh my god. The Devil's Punch Bowl. There's one in Georgia. There's you got to look them up. But the Devil's Punch Bowl is when they killed black people. They were missing, and they dug one huge hole, and they threw their corpses and their bones in there. And the fruit that grows in there, oranges and all of that, the native people around it, they don't eat it because it's
Wait, wait,
infused.
wait, 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 wait. So you mean it's like they dug a hole?
Look it up. Just look up the Devil's
No,
Punch.
I'm looking it up right now. So they dug like I'm looking at pictures. So it's a hole, and they literally just threw their dead bodies in there.
Yeah,
Like a
missing
mass
people.
grave?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. I didn't learn about that until like what 2014 during the summer when my cousin Simone was telling me about the Devil's Punch Bowl. I believe there's one in Georgia and in Tennessee, and
Bro,
I
I
believe
ain't
there's
even
like
gonna
three
lie.
of them.
All the pictures that I see is literally like tourist photos.
Really?
Yeah, like it's literally like I mean it's not like tourist photos, but like they try to make it look like it's like oh it's just water in the punch bowl. It's a waterfall. It's nothing.
Oh, by the
You
way,
know.
there's one in Oregon. Oh no, I didn't mean to. Wow, what is this?
You see what I'm saying?
Are you kidding me?
Okay,
Wait a
but anyways, like one thing that I want to say, and I'm gonna kind of leave it all like this. This is gonna be my last point. Is it goes with everything that we've been talking about, but stop teaching kids to be ignorant to reality. Like the whole thing about how they're gonna write this in history and what we're seeing today and how it's gonna be told later on and all of this shit. Like, stop teaching kids to be ignorant to reality because if they don't know what happened for real, how are they gonna know what to expect from people?
They're gonna repeat it, and that might be their goal. If I
Because
can't, if I
history repeats itself according to people. So if it does repeat itself, I would rather have my children be ready.
let's be real. And I agree with you. I just feel like that honestly, I'm over this. There are times where I wish I was ignorant. I'm not even lying, y'all. I
He
miss
said,
the days of being ignorant to this. I miss those. I do. I really miss those days sometimes. I miss days to where I didn't fear the police when I seen them. I was like, hey, a police officer, I want to be like you one day, but I don't want to die. Like, I thought when I was younger, I grew up. Police officers are brave. Granted, there are good police officers out here, but like,
I was about to say, like,
Like,
I've
okay,
always
like
wanted to ask you that question.
we're not trying to
Like,
gripe on everything, right? We're not trying to say like, okay, there's no good police officers, there's no good white people. That's not what we're saying. We're literally focusing on the things that we see that are happening to our community and things that are happening to other communities that seem like, oh well, if like why is it like this for us but for them it's like this? Like, I don't understand. We're trying to like have a conversation on why this is like this.
Yeah, and like
I was gonna.
um
Oh,
I
go ahead.
and my thing is it's like I miss it. I miss like that. And then when I was younger, I never understood the saying of, we black, we don't call the police. We handle our business on our own. I kid you not, I did not understand that. But in certain situations, it's like I literally whether, like for instance, let's say there was an altercation. Most people will call the police and they will handle it properly. I would rather fight you and possibly get shot or stabbed before I call the police because I don't want to see you die in the street over something so small that honestly we can fight about, we can argue, we can cuss each other out and be done and be good the next week. I whether I would handle somebody breaking into my house on my own than you coming and you questioning everything I got in my house, and you're not paying attention to the fact that my house is broken into, my children are scared. You don't care about me for real, or even the fact that you don't even come when I call. The fact that I have to call you more than once.
If I'm in a certain neighborhood, I have to call you more than once for you to come.
Do you know I've done that before? I had to call the police twice, not in a situation that I was involved in, but just in general. I was a bystander. I'm like, where
I know my
are
family has
you?
had to call the police more than once for them to come, if they even came at all.
Yeah, and it's like,
I was
are you
gonna ask
kidding
y'all
me?
about that, and this is a genuine question, because like I don't generally interact with officers or people of that race, but when I do, I'm not saying that I haven't had unpleasant experiences. The most I've had is like I'll say hello because like they walk past me and like they'll give me a dirty look, but for the most part, like especially with police
They
officers,
give
it's
you
not.
that smile.
No, it's not even that they're pleasant. It's like I say hello or they say hello to me, and I'm like, "What's up?" And then it's just like a casual con. I actually remember during the summer when I was working my job, he was white too, and he was really cool. Like, cause I guess I made his food like I guess good or whatever, and he used to always mention that to me whenever I saw him. I saw him on the street one day, and it was like pretty decent. The only thing he asked was like I put on my mask, and I kept going on about my day. So I'm like, is it? Do y'all think it changes like depending on areas? Because I don't for
I
I
feel like it's a person to person thing. It doesn't really matter about area because look, I live in the hood, right? I could have three white people who live on the same block as me, and one of them could be cool, one of them can be and another one could be racist. It just depends on the person for real.
Yeah, I lived in like I told you, I lived in the suburbs a nice portion of my life, and same thing applies there. In the suburbs, they try to they try to make you ignorant. That's what I mean. Like I didn't most of the stuff that people was learning about when I mentioned the Punch Bowl and the Trail of Tears and real slavery, authentic slavery, like all that main that stuff. I didn't learn
hmm
about that in the suburbs. It's like they try to keep us ignorant. They try to keep us to where it's like if you don't know about it, maybe it won't never happen again. And it's like, yeah, no. And yes, I've encountered people. I told y'all I encountered a thing with this police officer who thought I stole a pair of headphones from Best Buy. It got so bad I had to call my mama. And they I had to call my mama. They had to call the city of Westland because like by the way, that's the city. I just put it out there. But the city of Westland and whatnot, just to get a plumber to stop the line and to check the pipes to see if I stole a pair of headphones. I didn't. He didn't believe me.
check the pipes. So why would you
They shut the pipes. They stopped everything. They stopped the bathroom. They stopped the flow of the water just to check
How old
this.
were you?
I was 12.
oh,
I was in sixth grade. No, I
oh
was in
Wait,
god.
seventh
so they
grade.
did all of that for a 12-year-old?
Uh
Yeah, a
huh.
12-year-old, a
Yeah.
misdemeanor at most.
Yeah, and did I do it? No. Let's put that out. I never did. And my mama, not only she cussed that man out real good. I mean, real good. But the fact that he was trying to make me feel like he literally, let me tell you what this man said. He said, "You got on nice clothes. Why you gotta steal?" I'm like, I didn't do it. What is wrong with you? I told you more than once that I didn't do it. I don't have any headphones. Why are you asking me? Just some headphones come up missing, and you think it's the black kid in the store. Yo, your mother your mother got you dressing nice out here, and I know you probably don't have your daddy in your life. I said daddy in my life. Wait, nigga, he at work. Oh, whoa, let me call Eric up senior because you got life messed up.
I'm
Wait a
screaming.
minute.
He's Eric
Seriously,
Garcia the first.
I'm like, oh no,
Shut
I'll
up,
never
Brandon.
forget that.
What that's who he is.
So yeah, I mean, I've experienced that, and I've experienced officers who was like, let's go play basketball. Let's play football. I've played football and basketball with police officers, firemen. I mean, I've had good and bad experiences. It's like David said, it's just big, it's a
It
personal
really just
person.
depends on the person, bro.
Yeah.
I guess I just caught the because I won't say I didn't grow up in like a horrible neighborhood, but it wasn't like exactly suburban. I grew up around black people who had a lot of the same struggles that y'all did. It's just I mean I guess it's just me. I guess I've never encountered that. Like I've never come across. Can I say that? If I did have an unpleasant experience, I don't remember it.
What about you, Kevin?
No comment. I mean,
Oh.
I'm the only. I haven't really experienced that kind of thing. It's at least with a cop.
I mean, the only time I experienced anything with the cop is when we got pulled over like a week ago.
Yeah, that was the first really bad. Like, and it wasn't even bad.
It wasn't bad. It was
It was a traffic stop.
Racial profiling. Cop.
Oh,
Yeah, that part I've never got that before.
Yeah, and and thank God, because that's something you don't want to experience. Because the thing is, you start to look at people of that profession differently. You get nervous. You're like, will you be the one?
no. One thing that the cop did say to me, he was like, "Don't believe everything you see on the news," and I was like, I understand that, but most of the things that I know about that has happened to my community hasn't came from the news. So
like,
Like
I
you've
understand you want
experienced
to
it
make it to
personally.
where
you want to try to make me feel comfortable, but at the same time, it's like,
You can't just dismiss all of that. Like you
yeah, you
can't
can't
dismiss.
just.
You can't invalidate, and I get that. You can't. I get that you might be a good cop. I get that you might genuinely want to protect and serve your country as per your job description. But your good behavior cannot invalidate the experiences of people across the board. It's like it's irresponsible just to say, "Well, I'm a good cop, so you shouldn't be afraid." Well, I've had bad experiences with bad cops. I've witnessed bad dealings with bad cops. So you reassuring me of that is appreciated, but you just can't take that away.
yeah, and if we're all in agreement, I would like to kind of wrap this up here. I mean, overall, all in all, um, well, I'll ask a question to the viewers, the people who do watch. One, what do you think? Do you think there are people in America who agreed with the want to be cool, that little domestic not the domestic terrorism that went on at the Capitol? Um, let's be real. Do you agree? Did you I mean, do you side with them, or do you feel like they were just a bunch of crazy people?
If you
And
do
then
side with them, say why you side with them.
yeah, and like, I mean, write it in the comments, because I mean, at the end of the day, we will reply
Yeah.
back. Because I mean,
Or we'll
I
talk about it on the
Yeah.
next
I was
podcast.
about to say
Like
we could just talk about it. Like
another thing that I want the people who are watching out there, our earthlings or whatever we're gonna call y'all, probably earthlings because down to earth. But I want to know, what microaggressions have you dealt with? Because that's a topic that I want to talk about soon. I don't want to talk about it on this one specifically. I mean, we kind of did a little bit, but not really. But I want to talk about microaggressions where, you know, how somebody can say something to you and they don't necessarily mean it in a bad way, but the way that it either comes off or how they say it or whatever, like how it could be implicant. I can't think of the word. How it could be racist. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like write it down in the comments. Voice your opinions on anything we ever said. If you have any questions, if you didn't understand in something, write it down. Either we will address it in the comment section or we will address it on the next podcast.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we love you guys. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Be blessed.
Also, our social links are down in the description. If you want to hit us up on our socials too, you can, I guess. I mean, I have a Twitter. They don't really have Twitter, so you can tweet at me. Or I
Hmm.
can we might end up making a Twitter for Down to Earth. I don't know yet, but you can tweet at me. I can bring in tweets too, it don't really matter. Just we want to have a conversation with the audience too. It doesn't just need to be a conversation between the bros, cuz at the end of the day, if it's down to earth, we need to have the earthlings included too.
I was about to say.
Brandon and Kevin, y'all want to say anything before we close out?
I mean, great discussion today. Um, just make sure you
tonight?
shout us out. Yeah, tonight. Make sure y'all shout us out. Get bring people to the party. Bring your opinions. And this is a place where we look at stuff from all perspectives.
This is a safe place.
This is a safe place, even though we did say mayonnaise monkey and snow roach, but
I was about to say,
that's more so for the racist people. But even then, if you're a
Rugby
racist
mama.
and you're racist and you're watching this, you can go ahead and put your opinion in the comments. Just don't get mad when we cuss you out, okay?
wow.
Oh no, I mean, because I want all smoke. Seriously.
Oh, he want the smoke? He want the smoke.
Seriously.
All right. My closing comment, not to reiterate anything that anybody else said, so I'm gonna say, if you like video games, you like live streamers, my guy David, hit him with the follow on Twitch.
Twitch.tv/DavyZars. We in this mug. And everybody else gonna start streaming at some point too. I don't know when, but I'm trying to help them out, We gotta get it. We gonna get it together because we gonna start having down to earth streams, Eventually we're gonna have like everything set up for y'all. If y'all want, y'all can also I have a Discord server. It's gonna be in the link down below. You can come to the Discord and bring up topics that we should talk about on the podcast too. If you have Discord, if you don't, it's fine. The comment section is there.
And last thing I would like to say is, can somebody please give me $20? I need some gas. I ain't lying.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
Eric need gas money, so we gonna end it here.
30 miles still eat. I ain't lying.
And that's getting down to it.
With Down to Earth. Peace.
Bye.